I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. This is the whole hour of Santa Barbara Teen Athletes. Woo! And all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. I love it when we first get on air and then I'm going through the texts before we start off and I get sick. And I'm like, I look over to Dr. D and he goes, I just saw this national. Of course, you didn't make a reference to the product, but we both do the winky because we swear by Patricia Braggs.
Absolutely.
We love this stuff, right? It's the only stuff that you got to drink. I haven't had a cold in 3 years.
Apple cider vinegar.
That's it. Well, I wanted to, all right, lead into there, all right? My health coach, you didn't tell me about it. I had to have Patricia come out here and give us like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff every time she comes out here, right? Patricia Braggs.
Oh, she brings bag loads.
I love bags.
Yeah.
She doesn't stop. I love her. And what did you saw it, right? On national.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's always, of course, she's a founder of
I like it with honey, of course.
Right. I know. Cheat. No, I'm just saying. I cold turkey it.
Yeah.
Throw it in the water. I drink it.
There you go.
I sip on it every day.
Absolutely.
Kidding. Never had a cold.
Absolutely.
3 years. Not like never, you know. But we have, Kristen Snedden's not been feeling that good. Kristen, my thoughts and prayers go out to you. Council city woman. But we call a city. What's the thing for when somebody's a council woman? What do you call her?
Council person.
Mayor? No, she's not a mayor. Not yet. Oh, why did I say that? Well, that's not for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
Not madam. We call her Madam City Council. Is there a madam in it? No. Is that
I think the chair, but I don't know for sure.
No. Oh.
Madam Chair and council members.
Oh, council of course, Tom Reed would know how to address a city council person.
That's right.
Did you want to get a mic on it?
Yeah.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm doing good. Doing good. We're off to a new year, and it's going to be exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff happening. We kind of went through a tough year end. We had this is Unity Shop. We had 4 fundraisers cancel.
Because of the fire.
Yeah, because of the fire. I renamed it the Thomas Grinch Fire because it stole Christmas from all the retailers and all the restaurants were empty. And then with our fundraisers canceled and all the schools, of course, do food drives for Unity during December because that's our biggest month. 3,000 families come through. And all the schools were closed because of the fire. So we're in rebuilding mode, trying to restock and figure out where we are for the new year. But lots to be thankful for. This is going to be an exciting year. I'll tell you about the pilot program we're going to do with Sansom Diabetes. And we've got a grand opening coming up with our new gift shop. And we're thankful. We got lots to be thankful for.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be good.
Awesome. Well, you're not going to be here for the whole hour. We're not going to let you leave this seat. How's that? You always try to leave. But because sometimes people, tune in at 9:10. Oh, there's Tom Reed. And maybe they turn it at 9:40. Oh, there's Tom Reed. You might be missing people.
Ah.
And I don't want you to miss a donor.
So should I repeat everything I say?
No, but every time you come out, it's right. But,
Okay.
Well, we have Pal here, too, Michelle Myering. Hi, Michelle.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know.
God, you look younger, and you're not getting any work done, are you? I'm just saying, how could I ask that?
No.
Women don't tell. You
I am
look
all
wonderful,
natural.
younger, wonderful, refreshed,
Thank you.
revived.
Well-
You know why? Because you're painting.
I am
Yes,
painting.
I can
started
see the younger
painting.
side coming out of you. I love your stuff.
Thank
I'm
you.
liking it. Oh, I can't because you haven't posted it yet. But I'm
I know.
liking it on your phone.
Well, because some of it were gifts, so I couldn't post it because it would ruin their surprise.
Oh.
So now I can start posting.
I really do like your stuff.
But I did start.
You know
this
why you're
fluid
good?
art.
Because I could see things in it.
Yeah.
I won't like it. I'm telling you right now because I'm not a liker. If I don't like it, I'm not going to like it. Some people like. That's not
Right.
me. So don't say, oh, goodness. Don't be like me, like, oh, goodness, she doesn't like it.
You love it,
That's what I do. Like, Dr. Dale, Fig Tree. I sit there and like, are you going to like it now? I'll sit there. She doesn't like it. Oh, God, go back to it and fix it. I'm a freak.
But that's the beauty of art.
I'm a freak. I know.
Art is not everybody's supposed to like the same piece of art.
I know, but
So-
it's Dale Fig Tree. She's like a real artist.
Yeah.
She's like an artist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she doesn't like that one. You know what I'm saying? We know.
It's all good.
I know. I like
It's all
your
good.
stuff, though.
Thank you. It's been fun.
I know, isn't it?
Yes. It's what I did most of the break.
Nice.
Yes.
Refreshing.
Yes.
It's all about creative expression and using different parts of your brain and your body and your mind and your heart and just bringing it all together, that integration. It's really relaxing.
It is, and it's very tactile. So I'm going to show one of my teens loves art. She's actually a junior at Santa Barbara High School. We have a Santa Barbara High School student with us today, not with Pal, but yet. But and I want to show her this technique to show the rest, and then have her lead a workshop because it is very tactile and so fluid that I think the kids will really respond to it.
It's be really good.
Yes,
it's so funny when somebody, certain people in the house that that I pay the mortgage for. Anyway, I still have a little mortgage. And then all of a sudden, certain pieces in the garage, which is my kind of gallery, they vanish. And then when you get older, you're like, wasn't I just working on something here? And then it's like gone. So just like, because some people think it's done.
Right.
But it really, when you know this because you're an artist, right? It's never done. You always want to push it, right? But then certain people say, oh, no, it's done. Because, so it's just, there's always more and more and more. Because it just is.
Right.
Well, you always want to play, right? You're a kid.
That's why you just buy more stuff.
Exactly. That's right. That's what we do, right? Why are you laughing?
I enjoy the art so much just because it makes me feel happy and creative, and I love colors, and
I have to say that over the holidays, I did some searching for some drawing pads that I had stuffed away in some containers under the house. Now, the sidebar is that I ended up hurting myself in the process. Nothing serious. I strained my joints, but it was worth it in the sense that I found the 3 tablets I was looking for. And I started flipping through them. And this is stuff I drew 20 or 30 years ago.
Wow.
Let alone, I was actually staying for a weekend at this retreat center up north of Phoenix, up across the street, across the highway from Black Canyon City. It was this monastery that these nuns, Catholic nuns, took care of. And you have your own room. It's separate from everybody else.
That's a nunnery.
A nunnery. Well, it was run by some nuns, but it wasn't actually a nunnery. It was a retreat center, and they had it had running water and electricity and everything, but you were basically by yourself. It was a solitary thing, even though there were other people in some of the other little studio boxes that were set up around the property. And you could go across the street under the highway to the Black Canyon City, and you could, if you wanted to, or stay on that side and walk in the desert. So I took the tablets with me, and my drawing device, I can't remember if it was felt tip or colored pencils, and I was trying to do what I could to sort of mimic the landscape of the desert and the skies and the clouds and that kind of stuff. It was really kind of nice to find that stuff because ever since you started talking about your painting months and months and months ago, I thought, I haven't drawn in a long time. And I really thought I had lost those pads. And some of the drawings in there were actually really important to me. So I'm glad I found those. And so now I'm going to be able to continue in those tablets to continue that type of work.
When you have old pieces like that, basically it's a snapshot of your time and your space and place at that moment.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you just can't replace that.
No.
Sam, do you do any art?
No, I haven't really done any art. I used to a little bit in like 7th grade, but I wasn't really good at it, so I just stopped.
That's okay, yet. You just got to end. I taught my kids that when they were like 5. You know what I mean? Because it's not there yet. That's the biggest word in English history, an English dictionary, I think.
I think everybody does they have some form of artistic expression. It doesn't have to be painting or drawing.
Right. It's in your mind. Yeah. I never picked up a brush, a paint, never took an art class, never did anything. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, July 13th, it hit me. So there you go. And I'm 56. Yeah. So don't just say yet. Okay? Because what happens is you capsulate everything you ever see. It's in your brain. So your brain, it's doing something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every picture you see, every time if you watch somebody do it, it's just like, it's your mind mapping. Just look at it like that. Trust me.
There's a lot of people that they call it junk journals, where they take junk mail and they paint and they do creative things, and it's never going to go out to anybody else. But it's just something fun, and it's a creative outlet. And then when they go back to their work world, they have all these ideas and solutions that come to them because they took a break. So that's kind of what the artistic world is about. Very satisfying, not necessarily something you're going to sell.
Yeah, my junk journal is a shredder for junk mail.
So funny.
Well, we made paper. We shredded the paper, put it in a blender with a little water, and then remade paper, and that's the front of our almanac.
Really?
Yeah, it came from shredded junk mail.
You need more? I got a giant bag full.
Seriously, though, if you the cover on the almanac,
I'll have to look at it again. Wow, that's pretty cool.
It came out so beautiful. I'm like, something, just go, contact, the publisher, whatever, and take that off and use that. That's
but
what
I've even seen where they've actually done that literally. They've actually taken old paper, maybe they've shredded it, they've done these things, then they've mixed it with other solutions like water and so forth to make new sheets of paper.
Yeah, do a YouTube. That's exactly what we did. We didn't need glue or anything. We just used old junk mail and reconstituted it. We threw in a little bit of grass, a couple of flowers. We just had fun. It made new paper.
Pretty cool.
The paper is fabulous. I mean, when it dried, and we had my whole back pool room. Just it was amazing.
So you have to dry it. So the process that we did was we literally put it up against the window, and the sun dried it, and then we peeled it off the window, and it's gorgeous.
And it's
you
smooth.
try to buy that stuff, it is so expensive.
Yes.
3 sheets, it's like $10.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that would be
It's like-
something, especially in the summertime at PAL, when
Right.
we're looking for activities to stimulate and keep
Right.
the kids.
She could do
Cool.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, she had it all laid out. She'll show you. I was like,
you're hired for free.
Yeah, of course.
Volunteered.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the summer, it's a great time because we're not competing with academics so much.
The conversation and that, I mean, she did it with her daughter for, I don't know how many hours, 10 hours you were with your daughter. The stuff that you get to talk out, I mean, it's awesome. It's a community. Yeah.
The other thing, Dr. D, we used not only junk mail, but we also took the dryer lint. You know, the
Oh, yeah.
we use that too.
Oh, there's lots of that.
Oh, my God.
Talk about recycle all day.
Yeah.
All right. So how hard is you? You're totally top tip fit shape. How's baseball coming to Santa Barbara High?
Good.
Yeah?
Felt good. We got a day off today.
Nice. We like days off.
Yeah.
All right. I'm watching
need
you.
that.
I got
You
my
need your
eyes on
rest.
you all day.
You need
All
your
right.
rest.
Quick question, Sam. What did they have you do during the fire? What kind of conditioning did you have to do?
We didn't have anything. They didn't have us do anything. That
That's
was just an extra week off that they had us.
That's so nice.
By the way, speaking of which, if people are suffering from respiratory, not because of the flu or anything, but because of the smoke inhalation, just from breathing around, if they didn't have a mask or even if they did, a great remedy for that to get it out of your lungs if you can, and we can talk about this too, is go to a sauna. That heat will help to bring it out. Or get a big pot boiling water, put a towel over your head, and take in that steam. And that will also help to clear the lungs.
Infrared massage green.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah,
was
got to do that. I was going to say that. Joe, thank you. Actually, I wanted to throw out, say thank you. Got a short break coming up here, but I want to thank Tom and Lisa over at Santa Cruz. Picked up $75.50.
right.
Put your hands together for that.
Yes.
This is for Old Town Challenge that we have those little money boxes. Pepe's, we picked up $33 today. And to Levy's, Bob, you know how much I love you. We go back over 30 years. $80 from Bobby. Thank you, guys. Let's take a little break. Erica Salda, Queen of Teen, will be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
Do you have a story? You want to start off first? Oh, look at that face. Yay! Okay, we're going to do it. It's story
time.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's story time. It's 2018. Oh, Tom's all excited because he's gone. He's out the door right now. But
He
no,
doesn't usually hear the
he
story.
doesn't hear story time. You got to come up with a story. No? No. No
pressure.
No pressure. Okay, I gotta do some kind of story.
It's some kind of story.
Like a choo story. You know, do that $2, $20. No, we got that story.
Oh God, that was an interesting story. Can you help me tell it? So, no, this was really awesome. I'm going to just make it up on the spot. Okay, a father was trying to teach his son trying to understand. It was an Eskimo. Yeah. Okay, it was an Eskimo. Trying to teach
who knew?
Trying to teach his son the value of worth, how much something is worth. So he gave him a rock,
right?
And he said, "Take this rock down the street to neighbor and ask the neighbor what they'll give you for the rock." So the boy takes it down the street and he knocks on the neighbor's igloo and shows him the rock, and the neighbor says, "Wow, that's a pretty cool rock. I'll give you $2 for it." And the boy comes back to his dad and he says, "Hey, the neighbor offered me $2. And the father said, "Well, now I want you to go into town and I want you to go to the marketplace. And I want you to ask the fellow who owns the grocery store, show him the rock and say, how much will you give me for the rock?" And he went and did exactly what his dad told him to do. Well, the gentleman from the marketplace, he said, "Wow, that's a beautiful rock. I'll give you $200 for that rock." And the boy was like, "Wow." So he went back to his dad and he says, "Hey, the grocer offered us $200. And the father says, "Now I want you to take that rock and I want you to go to a fellow in town who specializes in jewelry museum. Okay, fellow in town who caters the museum, takes care, curator of the museum." So the boy takes the rock to the curator of the museum and says, "How much would you give me for this rock?" And the curator says to him, "Wow, that's an amazing stone. I'll give you $2,000 for that stone." And then the boy comes back to his dad. And the lesson of the story is the value of something is really related to the group of people that you're in and the people that you're associating with. So you have to really determine your own sense of value of yourself. And then you also have to determine who are you going to intermix with? Who are you going to hang out with? Some people say we are the mix of the 5 people that we hang out with, that reflects on us. The 5 closest people that we spend the most time with. So all that has to do with having a sense of self-worth. And it's just hugely important with your success in life.
That was a good story. Like that story, Dee. That was a good 2018 story. That was very close to the actual story. I like that story.
I like that you had it in as an Eskimo.
Yeah, I just wanted to put my own touch on it. It wasn't really an Eskimo, but Erica has to put a little bit of that on it.
You wanted to see if I could do it.
I know, and you did. Oh my God, she's really doing okay. I added the museum. That had nothing to do with it also. But,
all right, I'll tell you, one of my other special things is if I'm in with a group of people, I'll ask people for certain elements that they want to have in the story, and then we make up the story on the spot. And that is really fun. You have to try it sometime.
Yeah.
I would like to ask Tom Reed a question, and it goes back to our last segment. What is when you're not at the Unity shop, and you're not thinking about the Unity shop, and keeping it going and on, what is your artistic outlet?
Well, I've played guitar for 55 years and depended on music for my living for 15 years. And my creative outlet is songwriting.
Wow. See that? He writes about Eskimos. Eskimo writer.
And how Eskimos find rocks. Because there aren't any where Eskimos hang out.
Are you still writing songs?
Yeah, I am. Not as much as when I was traveling. But it's kind of a fun creative outlet because you're listening to songs all the time. You listen to music all the time, and then you're evaluating the song craft, the writing capabilities, and the fun way things come together. Like Brad Paisley, I interviewed Brad Paisley on the telethon this last year. He's one of my favorite songwriters, and he's just he's an outrageous guitar player. I don't even know how to relate to what he does guitar-wise. But he's top of his game with country, and he's just outrageous. But I probably have a different way of appreciating what he does because that was my living for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I'm just a kind of a burned out folk singer, really, acoustic guitar guy, finger picker and all that. But I had a chance to record with the Oakland Symphony, a bunch of my stuff at one point, and then I was speaking at a church once, and I had done a little music, and a guy came up afterwards and he asked me about what I was talking about, Kingdom of God, actually, and I had an interesting conversation with him, and he was interested in the music as well, and he invites me over to his house. He's got these gold records hanging on the wall, and I'm thinking, who is this guy? He's got an English accent. Turns out to be Michael Pinder, founder of the Moody Blues. Oh, wow. And I got a chance to record with some stuff with him as well. So it was like art. You end up talking to people about it. You end up meeting some interesting people, and the creative outlet, you can learn from others, and you get to hang out with different people. So for me, it's opened a lot of doors, and I actually got down to Latin America 4 times doing stuff and different. It was just a great experience. So there you go. Music is my outside.
And music has such a profound effect on almost everybody. So it can make you smile, it can make you cry, it can make you, angry, but usually when people hear songs, especially from their past, it takes them back to that place.
Oh yeah, we did the concert with Peter Noon at the Libero, and it was 60s British Invasion, 1960s stuff. Henry VIII I Am and Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter. I mean, all these old songs. And Peter tells me, he's helped Unity for 20 years, and he tells me he still travels 200,000 miles a year doing that music. And I thought, I know about retro groups, the Eagles get back together again, Crosby, Stills. I mean, they'll get those kinds of groups together, but 60s stuff, I thought, how could that work? How could that still be popular? And when we did the concert at the Libero it was October, it was a packed house. And as soon as he started singing those songs, everybody knew every word. Because they all have gray hair like me, probably. That's the deal. If Sam was there, he probably wouldn't have been too impressed. But it's so recognizable. So exactly what you're saying is really true. It takes you right back. I was in that relationship right then, or I was right there when that song was popular, especially if you're at high school or one of those places, So music, it's a different language.
Absolutely.
And it touches on the different side of your brain, and it's emotional or it's whatever it is. But it is a different way of communicating. It brings out different things in people.
They say that music is quantum. It uses quantum physics because with music, you can have an infinite amount of instruments, infinite amount of variation of the notes being expressed, infinite amount of emotion. It's just so it's hitting multiple dimensions of the brain. It's not just linear. It's it brings the past, the present, and the future all together.
Oh, interesting.
Well, it is.
I also find it interesting too that I hear this occasionally from some folks who think all the great songs have all been written already, and I'm going, well, if that's the case, then there are only 3 notes in our musical repertoire, and you're right. They've all been written because we only have 3 notes to work with. Are you kidding me?
It reminds me of the guy who worked for the patent office who said, all of the good inventions have been made. I think we should close the patent office. Dated 1896.
Wow. And look at what's happened in the last 100 and some odd years. Yeah. Wow.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, music is ageless.
Yeah,
and there's a strong correlation between music and math and everything. And we're lucky at PAL because we brought in this brand new music program, so our kids are exposed to music now on a daily basis. Yeah. So where they wouldn't have been before.
And the influences from other parts of the world. I mean, in India they have the ragas, and they have, I can't even remember the names of for example, in music in this country and in Europe in particular, you have 8 octaves.
Right.
You have 8 notes and 8 octaves. But they don't have 8 notes and 8 octaves.
Exactly.
It's divided up even finer.
Right.
And then you go to different parts other parts of the world where it's the same kind of thing.
China, they're working with 5 instead of 8.
So, no, all of the great songs have not been written yet.
Yeah. Sam, when you're like experiencing life events and stuff like that, when I was a teenager, I went to music and I don't know, it kind of soothed me or got me up. Do you do that at all? Is that how you use music?
I can use it like if before a game I'll listen to it to get ready for the game or get hyped. Or
What do you listen to? All right, let it out.
I normally listen to rap. That's
right.
kind of it. And I don't really listen. I sometimes listen to music in class when we have like free time and we're just doing homework and stuff. Like in my seminar class, I'll listen to music.
Can you rap?
No.
Well, the other thing about music is you can rap. Like, everybody can sing. There's a reason I sit in the front row at church, because the only person that hears me sing then is the pastor, and they're not supposed to judge.
That's awesome.
So you can rap. It just may be at a different level.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like, I can sing, but the quality might not be up to par.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Let's take a little break.
Yep.
I love the commercials. Everybody's talking about the commercials. They're fabulous. I'll take a break. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We'll be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
Sam, let's get personal. Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Good. No girlfriends in baseball. I did not put your hands together for that.
They're nothing
I
but
like
a
that.
distraction.
Yeah, that's right. They're a distraction. Well, no, you need to.
Unless you find the right one.
Well,
and
yeah.
then, you gotta.
What's your favorite subject?
I was going to say, what's your favorite sign? I didn't know what you were going to say.
What's your favorite subject, son?
In school?
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah, besides baseball, probably math because it's the easiest for me.
Awesome. Which math class are you in?
I'm just in college prep right now.
Perfect. Perfect. What recommendations would you give to someone who is struggling with math?
Just kind of stick with it. It takes a while to get. And then don't try to challenge yourself with a higher class than you think you can accomplish, because then you're just going to have to, you're not going to get your credits and you're just going to have to retake it.
Gotcha. So build on those basics.
Yeah.
How many hours of math homework do you think you do a day or a week?
A day, probably like, not that much, just like 20 minutes.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Because it comes to him.
Yeah.
He gets it.
Do you feel like you're going to go on to do calculus, trig, all this?
Probably not.
Just keep to the basics.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Because he's baseball.
Yes.
There's a lot of math when you're a catcher.
Yes.
Yes,
There is. And it is,
I
honestly,
think there's more geometry than there is math.
that's math.
I think. But,
That is math.
Well, in order to make
okay.
the best decisions as the catcher, you're actually integrating into your intuition the physics of how fast is this player throwing, how fast is this person running. I mean, there's a whole bunch of mathematics that your eye and your body is incorporating into the directions that you're helping to give the team.
Yeah. Biomechanics. That's
And he's a therapist.
Ooh.
yeah. If we taught kids in the realm of where their interests are, which I think they're starting to do more word problems and stuff like that, because when you look at sports like baseball is full of biomechanics and physics and velocity and speed and change of direction.
And counseling.
And well, that too. But if
Pitchers have a bad day, and pitchers, let me tell you,
they do, but
are
the
moody.
batters are
yeah. You know that. They got attitude because they're almighty from like day one. They've been put up on pedestals, and who's the captain of the team? The catcher. They just are. Who looks at you? You got all 8 guys looking at who?
You.
The catcher. Of course, me. Right. It's true. Everybody looks at. So I sit here. That's why I sit here. No, you, the catcher. And and you got to have that cloned face. Oh, both of my boys did it one time. They only did it once and never did it again because, and they looked as if they were losing, and they only did it once. And you know what I'm talking about. You can never look as if you're up by 10 or down by 10. You have to have that face. It's just tough. You cannot drop your head. You know what I'm saying? You cannot do it.
I really need to work on that. I'm pretty moody.
No.
Especially when I hit.
Can't do it. Cannot. That's the hardest thing. Everybody's looking at you.
Yeah.
That's why that's got to be a gamer.
Yeah. And the team is getting their energy from you.
Right.
So if you're able to stay level head and you're able to stay up and full of enthusiasm, just love of the game and love of the opportunity to hit again.
Passion.
Yeah.
That's it. It's you. You got it. I could see it in your eyes. That's it. So make a prediction. What's going to be? I'm going to write it down right here, and you're going to sign it. What's going to be yours?
A prediction for what's going to happen to me in the future?
No, I want to know what your record's going to be, and you're going to sign it.
For this high school season?
This season, Santa Barbara High season, on the team that you're going to be on, what's going to be the record?
I'm not sure how many games we're supposed to play.
Right.
But
okay.
I'm going to say we're going to win at least 3/4 of our games.
3/4, that's 750.
Nice.
Okay, you're going to sign the bottom of it. Or you're going to do a lot of push-ups.
You're going to hit 300? What are you
going to hit? No.
I've been trying to hit like 400 probably. That's my goal.
Right, 400.
You're going to hit 400. I like that.
And I want to have, by the end of the season, I probably want to have a pop time that's probably like 2.0. Or at least 1.8.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
I tell you
math.
what, that's
All
one.
math.
Yeah,
I threw 2.0 last season.
Okay.
I threw 1.20.
Was your mom holding the clock or what?
No.
Oh, spank!
There's a scout holding the clock.
Really, a scout?
Yeah.
Ooh, spank back. Ooh, okay.
So one thing I love about the game of baseball, in every other sport, if you are proficient in that sport, you must be upwards in the 80 to 90 percentile. But in baseball, as a hitter, if you're doing 30%, you're awesome.
What?
Even 25 to 27%, 250 to 275, you're still doing fantastic.
Right.
But in all those other sports, if you were doing that, you're done.
Right.
You better go into art.
Right. That's amazing.
And
That's really good.
but again, when you take a look at what a batter has to deal with, and then of course the pitcher in exchange, where you don't know what he's going to throw, you don't know how fast he's going to throw it, you don't know, unless you have studied all of the different elements, in terms of the density of the air, and you've got all of the other elements that you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. With the bat that you're using and how fast you can swing it and how strong you are and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. All of these variables, and anything can happen at each swing.
Right.
And so to hit 30% or 33%, or if you're shooting for 40, that's pretty darn good, especially when you're considering how bats you get in each game.
Well, it's like if you go, you get if you come home and on a history exam and you get a 30.
Yeah, that's not good.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
You do that in baseball and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's only because of all of the different variables that you're dealing with in that game in particular that says, yeah, you're doing pretty awesome to be able to hit that many balls and get on base, because you don't get a hit if you don't get on base. And that, so as a matter of fact, I was listening to an audio track from a book that I received many years ago called The Crowd Went Wild. And it's this compendium of all this various sporting events over the last, I'm going to say from when I got the book, probably the last 40 or 50 or 60 years. And they had one in there where Hank Aaron, he hit the home run where he had he was the top of the list as far as he was the home run leader at that point in time. How in the world are you going to hit that many home runs, let alone just hit the ball in the infield and get on base? And this guy hit, I can't even remember what the number was at the time. I'm 500 or 700.
What was it, Sam? Do you know?
Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Erica?
But that's just amazing.
400? What was it?
No, it's 513 or something.
Ooh, that's bad. We don't know our numbers.
I forget what it was, but it was amazing to listen to that.
Yeah.
In the light of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, this guy had a good eye.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to throw the ball right over the plate for you to hit.
Exactly.
That's not their job.
Yep.
They don't want you to hit it.
Got a quick question for Tom. Unity Shop, do you have sports equipment and so forth for the kids?
We have baseball gloves. We have, it's not intentional necessarily, but we know on the boys' side, we've got skateboards, baseball gloves for sure. When it comes to holiday gifts, Christmas presents, that kind of stuff, we do have sporting equipment. We don't really focus on it necessarily. We do have some at the gift shop, Unity Gift Shop. It's not. I wouldn't count on it as your place to go get what you need, though. It's not. It's not quite the focus. That isn't really our job.
Got it. But if someone had something that they were really hoping to get their kid into, would you send them to a high school, or where would you send them to?
As far as an orientation for a sport?
Yeah.
Well, my sport is hockey.
Nice.
Oh.
Because I was raised in Michigan. So if you're raised out here, you surf and play volleyball. But if you're raised in Michigan, you play tennis and hockey. So I played at Michigan State, played a little of national or semi-pro in Northern California. That sounds better than it is, actually, but they did charge for tickets, and so that kind of made it that way. And then I'm playing out the new rinks out in Goleta.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Oh, the NHL-sized rink out there is just beautiful. They put $11, $12 million into that space. Oh. It's really unbelievable. Yeah. So it's a gift. So I get to play all the time out there.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's a great sport. I think it's one of the better sports out there, and it's easy to get your kids started with that. It's a little bit of an expensive deal because you got to buy all the equipment, and every 5 minutes they outgrow it, and as they get older. So, but hand-eye and starting them early, even soccer and certainly baseball. Football is a little bit questionable just because of the concussion thing and the I know guys that are just limping around now 50 years after blowing a knee out playing football in high school. And it's a great game. I love the game. But I would probably the key to sports, I think, is getting them started early. Early.
Yeah, I think get them started early, and I've said it 100 times probably on this show, is don't limit them to one sport early. Let them develop, across, their whole body. When they focus on one sport too early, then the overuse injuries skyrocket.
Yeah, most definitely cross-training, I believe, 100%. Let's take another break, okay? All right. It's Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Fill up your coffee. We will be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Dominique, where else can you find us?
Ooh, I like this. Facebook. The internet, teensportsradio.com. Also, AM 1290. Do you realize Teen Sports Radio, you can stream it live, but you can also go and catch the repeat of the show. We have it as a podcast where you just click on it and MP3 plays.
Where do you get that?
It's posted on YouTube and also on the website. So it's really fun.
All right.
And supposedly we've got Instagram, but I'm not an Instagram user. So Sam or someone young is going to have to tell me.
I don't know about Instagram. Facebook, I know.
I know this year we're coming up on 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Right?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at the
8 years.
I'd have to look at the files, but you're not far off. You're not far off.
Can you imagine? That was really nice.
Late April will
8
be
years.
our anniversary time period.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
We'll play with it.
I know.
See what we come up with.
We'll see. I mean, it just doesn't end.
It's either that or we're
it's
just
gone by.
Look,
So
we're all exhausted. We're going to throw a test pattern up for the entire hour.
It goes by really fast.
Oh, it does. It really does.
8 years.
And if you don't know what a test pattern is, Google it, okay?
I know. Serious. 8 years, 2018.
Yes, I know.
Unbelievable.
Believe it or not, as a kid, before the morning cartoons used to come on, we'd sit there and watch it and wait and watch the clock and watch the test pattern, and eventually it would go away, and then cartoons would come on. Like I said,
so
now we watch on our phones. We watch the hourglass,
the little hourglass, or the spinning wheel.
So weird.
Oh, it's
all right. So listen, it was a tough, holiday, but I mean, the bright side is 4 houses I mean, in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. Yeah. And I shared last week, I had one client we shared a meal and said, for her, I guess they were using her home. The firemen were using her home as a site because she was gone for like 16 days. And when she came back, I mean, she just dreaded the return. And she was just spinning around, just looking around, and she just couldn't believe it. And she wanted me to, thank again and again and again because her house was glorious, the pillars and the eaves and the roof. And she said it was never so clean. I mean, they actually power washed everything. And she just didn't, I mean, she teared up because she got caught in the last fire wave, and I mean the house had damage and everything, and she just didn't know what to say. She was shaky, like when she was telling the story. She just she had no right. I mean, she just didn't know how to express herself. She didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
Thank you, firemen.
Yeah.
And the police.
I was going to say, all first responders, the sheriffs, the National Guard.
Yeah.
My office is at the PD, and the police officers, I mean, they're there controlling the traffic. They're there ensuring that vandals are not getting in to the evacuated zones. They also have to maintain order in the city. And, when it's kind of a ghost town, you have to be kind of concerned that there's going to be...
safety.
Yeah, safety
Everything.
Issues. And
everybody.
People, then you don't have eyes out for people who might be thinking, delinquent behavior. So they all were exhausted, and they all did just a fabulous job.
They don't just work in this community. They live here.
They live in this
They're
community.
a part of it, and they want to preserve it and protect it just like the people whose homes they were standing in front of. And I'll tell you what, to have fire engines parked around your house, I would feel so safe. We had them up on the hill at the fire station, and my wife says, I feel so much better knowing that they're there.
Oh, they all did such an incredible job.
You should have, I didn't know, I mean, you say fireman, but a serviceman day. I mean, whatever you call that, a community service day. We should have that.
Well, on...
do we have that already?
January 13th, the Milpas Parade was postponed because of the fire, but on the 13th, they're going to have the Milpas Parade, and it's going to be sort of not a salute to the troops, but a salute to the first responders. So it's going to be an opportunity to thank the first responders.
So as the year goes on, I know everybody, and as I think it's just going to honestly be 2018 as everybody takes a breath, because I could tell you just on these boxes, I mean, people are thinking about it. I mean, I know tipping and everything. I just think it's going to be a I really do think that 2018 is really going to be a whole year of gratitude. Oh, that's what I'm preaching.
It's
you know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking
2018 is a fire-free year.
Yeah.
Okay, folks.
But I'm just saying, how can we do that?
One of the things, well, that's encouraging, and I'd like to think that everybody's got their head in that game.
Right.
Over at Unity, the way we think about it, we established a little disaster services area for people that were evacuated. We had 2 staff people that lived in Ojai. So the power was out. They got a knock on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, get out now. And if later on we found out the fire was ripping through that area, that valley heading toward Ventura at 1 acre per second. So it was just racing. And so they had no time to grab anything. So they got the pets in the car and they took off. And a lot of evacuees were like that. So when they came to Unity, they didn't have a toothbrush. They didn't have a blanket. They didn't have a change of clothes. They didn't have any basic things, even toiletry kind of things. So we took care of those. Then Unity is the only long-term recovery agency in the county, and we've got a fair number of folks that come to us anyway from Ventura County. And Ventura doesn't have anything like Unity Shop, so we're gearing up now for this 2-year process of helping people that have lost everything. And unfortunately, they become sort of invisible. When the first responders leave and the fire goes out, we've had a little rain, and now, we're kind of thinking, all right, good, that's over. Well, if you lost everything, I've lost 2 houses. You may remember that. And I know a little bit about what that feels like. And you sort of feel like you're invisible after the first month, but now you're trying to find a place to live. You're trying to restart your life all over again. And I'm really thankful that Unity can play a role with that, because we do enough, it's not trained physical or professional psychiatry, but it's certainly some emotional hand-holding and letting people come whenever they're ready and getting whatever they need. And that gives them the freedom to kind of relax into this very difficult process.
Well, I'm hoping everybody, when they're doing the tax planning, and it's a perfect time because it's the tax planning, and it's time to say, okay, how much can I give? All right? Because that's what it's about. Let's take a short little break. Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen, will be back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen, Michelle Myering. We have a minute and a half. I want to give it all to Pal, because we love, put your hands together, we love the Police Athletic League. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we survived the fires, thankfully. None of our families were displaced, so we are extremely grateful for that. We are starting a new program. It's called Drag Racing Against Gangs and Graffiti. So it's aimed at juniors and seniors in high school, and they won't be drag racing, but they'll be working with law enforcement in learning the skills of the automotive industry. Nice. So we don't have trade schools here.
Right. And,
it's going to give those kids an opportunity to earn a marketable skill.
Genius.
So drag.
I want to know more about it.
SBPAL.org.
Next week, talk about it again. Come back.
Yes, we'll do.
Hey, Santa Barbara, it's not over. We need you to kind of shake the change a little bit. Okay, we're doing some pre-tax planning. We need a little bit giving. Okay, this whole year, 2018, is going to be about giving. All right, loving and giving. God bless you. See you next week.